Morning, we are at the Guo property. We're going to be completing a repairability test. We'll be on this left slope, which is south. We have this damaged shingle we'll complete the repairability test on, and we'll see how it affects all of those surrounding shingles. I'll give you an overview of all of those surrounding shingles before we get started, all of which could potentially be damaged during the repairability test. So I'll show you the current condition. Once we're complete with that repair test, we'll take another look and see those results. For my tools, I'll be using a flat bar, roof snake, hammer, and putty knife. Then we have this 45-degree tool that we'll use to give us a visual for what 45 degrees looks like. Slide it underneath that damaged shingle. I'll give you some views of that. And then any of those shingles that we have to lift during the repairability test, we'll try to keep those at 45 degrees or below. All right, we'll go and get started. We'll start by getting all of those shingles unsealed. We use the putty knife to unseal the top shingles. We'll use the flat bar to unseal these lower ones. See if there's any differences with those tools. Now we'll start removing those nails. We got that damaged shingle out. Slide this new shingle in, get it all lined up nicely. Now we'll start getting some nails back in there. We'll be driving those in with the roof snake. All right, we're all complete with the repairability test. Let's take a look at all of those results. I'll give you another overview of all of those surrounding shingles. I'll just give you a side-by-side comparison of those shingles that we had to manipulate in order to complete that repairability test compared to these unaffected ones up here. They're still sealed down. We did not have to lift those or manipulate those at all. We can see a pretty big difference in the condition of these affected shingles compared to these unaffected shingles. I'll just give you a quick side-by-side comparison there. We can see stress fractures that occurred along these shingles here that we did lift. You can see how much it's creasing in those areas with those stress fractures. And I'm barely even lifting it here, about 20 degrees or so, and we can see how much that's creasing right there, causing that those stress fractures. See that all along there. And those stress fractures are going to be damaging the integrity of those shingles. You can feel it's much weaker in those areas with the broken matting. That's going to not allow those shingles to do what they're designed to do as best as they should. They're designed to shed water, with the matting being the main component for that. You can see that broken matting. Those capabilities are going to be compromised. See that all along there. You can also see very significant granule loss in those areas as well with the stress fractures. The purpose of those granules is to protect that matting from weathering. So when we do have those areas with significant granule loss around those stress fractures, that already broken matting is not going to have as much protection now for the weather. So that'll allow that already broken matting just to deteriorate rapidly. Take a look underneath, see if we're seeing any mat transfer. We could also see a tear in this shingle. You can see how brittle that shingle is just from trying to lift that up. You can see the shingle just tore on the end there. But we do have some tearing in that shingle here from when we removed that nail. I think we're good on the mat transfer. These shingles came unsealed fairly easily, so we should be good on that. But we can see 4 shingles that we had to lift in order to remove those nails, put more back in. You can see 4 where stress fractures occurred on those, damaging them. So we have 4 additionally damaged shingles from just replacing 1 wind damaged shingle. And with those damages, that's going to be cause for potential water intrusion. So I do not believe repairs are feasible to this roof. As we can see the condition that those surrounding shingles are going to be left in. They're going to be left with stress fractures and 4 additionally damaged shingles for every shingle repaired. I do not believe that would be indemnification, leaving the insured with more damaged shingles than they originally had. And they would have repairs looking like this, so they'd have potential leak hazards all over their roof anywhere those repairs are going to be completed. So I do not believe this roof is repairable. I'll go and chalk up all of those damages that occurred during the repair test and get some better photos of those. Thank you for your time.